Let's talk about Jalen Duren. Apparently, Jake Fisher is saying that he's still threatening to do the qualifying offer. So check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And I don't, man. Honestly, nobody really knows the numbers. If I had to guess, it's 40 and up. I think if the Pistons was willing to go to 35, just assuming, I think they will go somewhere between 30. I think they will go 40. He must want north of 40. I really think 40 is the sweet spot. I think 40 is the sweet spot. I think they like, we give you 40. And he like, nah, I want 45 or I want 50. And I think if he's standing on business on $50 million per year, if that's what he's standing on or whatever the max is, he don't want to be here, you know? And is it going to mess up the camaraderie of the team? I mean, through the summer, no. Now they get to camp and he signed that qualifying offer. If he's threatening to sign that qualifying offer, bro, if that's something that's on the table that his agent is telling them, you can't hold on to somebody that don't want to be here, bro. I'm going to keep it being. You can't hold on to somebody that don't want to be here. And unfortunately, as much as that hate for them and they feel like it's a downgrade for them to do that, and now you in a position of no leverage. And then what's so funny about it, the Sacramento Kings are still prying. I read the Sacramento Kings are still prying around trying to get them. So Sacramento is still a team to get them. My thing is this: if I'm them, they got to give me something more than Sabonis. They got to give me something more than Sabonis, or we get with Jalen Duren team. I'm like, look here, man. This is what we trying to do. Maybe you can make it a 3-team trade. Maybe they can make it a trade down, make it a trade for Sengun or somebody like, but at the end of the day, this had to be part of the plan. Now, Asar Thompson can't get his chili because you waiting on him. So in general, if he signed it, he signed it. If he come in and somebody want to sign it and he said in the block, all right, bro, he get the pen about to sign it, but look here, we willing to make a deal. Make a deal. And I know it's hard for them to, want to make that deal and you see the potential, but once you really think about it, it's all potential. It really is. It's all potential. And you seen it last year with the jumper coming, the handle. But one of the things that don't really match with his game, and I did a video on it. One of the things that don't match is K not pushing the pace. He's one of those dudes that can just get to point A to point Z really, really fast. And I'm from my observation in past years, he wants to be the man, So I ain't knocking it, you know what I'm saying? Because you got one life to live. But in general, if it's getting this deep, bro, and it's like we standing on 50 or we standing on 45 or a number that they want to go, you got to move on. If it's a bonus and then you got to make another play to get somebody else, then that's what you got to do. If you got to make another play to make a move for somebody else, then you got to look around the association to go with Sabonis. If you got to go to Houston and post Steven Adams or post Clint Capella, wherever he at, to go with Paul Reed and to go with Jalen Duren. And probably some of the conventional thought is, damn, we got rid of Stewart. We was for sure we was going to be able to sign Duren. So we got rid of Stewart. And now we losing Stewart and Duren. It's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. If they probably like, yo, we knew we was getting rid of Duren, we probably would have kept Stewart even with all this dysfunction going on, right? So if I'm being quiet, if I'm being honest, at this point, it's just like, all right, cool. We know where you want to go, but we got to do also what's best for us. So, and I'm looking around the league. Even if I was to get a Sabonis, or somebody like that, then I'm looking at other guys that I can pair with them, I'm looking for other guys that's on other teams, that I can kind of pair with them. I can go, Steven Adams, Paul Reed, Sabonis, or I can go Sengun, if I can go poach somebody else, a big fella off another team, if I could poach him, just to give us a different type of look. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it. So if they can post somebody else to go with them, you'll be fine. But in general, it's getting to the point where the city is already like, we already good with them. So I would just accommodate them, bro. I would accommodate them. I'd be like, look here, man, And if he goes somewhere, and obviously it's probably gonna be less money, because what's the most that another team can offer Jalen Duren? Let me see. Yeah, what's the most another team can offer Jalen Duren? Hold on. Let me see if I can see it. So the most they can offer him is $44 million annually. So I think we got our answer. I think he wants the 44 or the 45 from the Pistons. I think if it, just kind of look at I think 4 years, $77 million. So I think the sticking point is $40 million. If I had to guess, the sticking point is probably either the Pistons really want 35, they really want 44. They like, look here, we give you 36, we give you 38, we'll prorate the deal down to 4 years and give you that. And they like, no, we won't. If they asking for 40 plus, if they asking for more than 44, if they asking for 45 to 50, that mean he don't want to be here. But I think they like, we want the 44 or we want the 40. And I think that's the sticking point. And at the end of the day, I'm willing to roll the dice. If I'm fucking with Sacramento on this is what I would do. Give me Monk. We got a trade exception. Give me Monk for Duren. And look here. If not, hey, sucker, you can go sign a qualifying offer. We'll just roll the dice. We'll see some bonus in free agency. And I'll run the shit out of Jalen Duren all season. That bitch will be playing 40 minutes. Not bitch, but he'll be playing 40 minutes a game. 48 minutes, man, I'll be playing the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's the problem. And if Sacramento want to make a deal, if I'm really the Pistons, I really hold my nuts. I'm like, look here, man, I want Monk and a draft pick. I hold my nuts on them. I'll get a first round draft pick, Monk, and Sabonis for him. I hold my nuts on them. Like, no, it's going to be worth our while. We're going to fill a void. We're going to get help next to Cade. And we're going to get a big fella. And if I really want to hold my nuts, I'm going to go get I want your draft pick. If not, I go, even if I make that deal, I'll go to Houston and ask them what's up with Capella or Steven Adams. I'll be like, what we can do for them. I have Paul Reed, Steven Adams, or Clint Capella with Sabonis. I have insurance on top of that. But hey, that's just me. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole 9 piece.